He nailed that. G'day everybody, welcome to another episode of Mick's Adventure Addiction. We've just come up to Cooktown, heading up to Lizard Island. Just trying our luck on a few reefs around here, so beautiful little coral trout. We just need them 3 times the size. Stay tuned, eh? So if you're coming up to Cooktown and you're into anything fishing, boating, diving, camping, hunting related, drop into the lure shop, say g'day and check out what's in this store. It really is well worth it. We're in there a number of times and I tell you what, it was like being a kid in a candy shop. It really was. Bit of local knowledge, bit of advice. I believe they do fishing charters as well, or even just drop in and say g'day. We're in there a number of times, so thanks guys. We appreciated your help and your hospitality. It was good to meet you all. So coming up to Cooktown, I'd planned to go out to the ribbon reefs and spend a fair bit of time out there, but as with anything boating and fishing related, the weather plays a big part. Well, the winds were up, the swells were up, so we ended up hanging around Cooktown for a few more days than we'd originally hoped. Just a little bit about Cooktown for you. Now, Cooktown is located at the mouth of the Endeavour River, which is on Cape York Peninsula in far north Queensland. Now, this is where James Cook beached his ship, the Endeavour, in 1770. Now both the town and Mount Cook, which rises up behind the town, were both named after James Cook himself. The Endeavour River, well, it was named after his ship. So the British crew spent about 7 weeks at the site of the present day Cooktown, doing repairs to the ship, replenishing food and water supplies and caring for their sick as well. Just a little bit about Cooktown for you. So we'd been watching the weather and it looked in the next couple of days we were going to get a break in the winds and the swells, so I decided we'd stick the boat in the water and we'd punch on up to Lizard Island and hang about up there and hopefully catch the break in the weather to get out to the ribbon reef. So it was time to go and put the boat in the water and send it to Lizard Island. Back around and get ready to roll. Well, we finally got the boat in the water. We've been in Cooktown now for a few days. The weather turned pretty ordinary. The wind's blowing, swells were up, so it's died off a little bit today. We've had to change our plans a bit, so we're going to try and punch up to Lizard Island, get into Watson's Bay there, and they predict in the next couple of days the wind should drop and it should glass out, so we'll just see how it goes. So this was the first time I had the bar crusher out in open, rough water. I was pretty keen to see how it performed, especially with all the extra fuel on board, water, all our camping gear. It was fully loaded. I'll tell you what, I wasn't disappointed. The Suzuki on the back, it just pushed it along really well. So it was 97k from when we left Cooktown, punched all the way up to Lizard Island, and finally got into the protection of Watson's Bay there. And I'll tell you what, it is a gorgeous little spot. Welcome to Lizard Island, guys. Absolute paradise. Check it out. When you come to Lizard Island, guys, just a couple of things to keep in mind. There's very limited camping on the island. The only camp area is in Watson Bay, which is where we've just pulled up now. So you just jump on the Parks and Wildlife website and it gives you the availabilities. You can book them from there. There is a beautiful resort on the island as well, if that's your cup of tea. But we're just going to swag it here. We hopefully have a week here. See how we go. By the time we got all the gear out the boat, gone and set up camp and had a quick look around, the day was done. So we just sat back and enjoyed our first beautiful sunset on Lizard Island. So day one on the island and we wake up and it's still windy, so we figured it'd be a good chance just to hang around and check the island out. There's a couple of little walks on the island you can do, but also in Watson's Bay there itself there's a few little patches of reef, so we figured we'd just hang around, chill out, chuck the snorkeling gear on, go for a walk and just explore the island. They do have a water pump on the island here. It's about 250 metre walk up from the campsite. You'll see the area I just walked through there was a walking track, but it's a fair low lying, I don't know whether it's a natural spring that comes up or what it is, but they've obviously tapped down into the water table and they've provided this pump. Now you do have to prime it up with a bit of water first, so you can either use salt water or someone's left a bucket here with some water in it previously, which is pretty good. It's just a matter of pumping it and up she comes. Great just to wash the salt water off. You can drink it, but I do recommend you boil it first. So I normally just take some back to camp, washing dishes, wash my feet off before up in the swag of a night time, and then just leave a bit in the bucket for the next person. From the corner of Watson's Bay, there's a track which you can take which allows you to climb to the very top of Lizard Island. Now apparently it's a very similar track to that which James Cook himself used when he climbed to the top of Lizard Island. He was trying to find a safe passage out through the Great Barrier Reef for his ship. So I went and chucked the GoPro on and headed off up the island, and I tell you what, it was a tough little climb, tougher than what I expected. Now I recommend if you're going to do it, have some good shoes, which I didn't have, take some water, which also I was stupid enough to forget, and take a really good camera, because I tell you what, the view on the way up and the view from the top is just spectacular. can see beyond the airstrip and the resort there is what they call Blue Lagoon. It is another very popular spot on the island. When the weather's right and the winds are right, a lot of people do go and moor in there. It really is a beautiful little spot too. Absolutely gorgeous view. It's certainly well worth the walk up. Just make sure you got some water with you, some good shoes, which I forgot both. So I'm going to head back down now. Got a bit of a scramble back down, so if you get a chance, well worth the effort, eh? It was straight back down into Watson's Bay, out to the boat, chucked the flippers on, chucked the snorkel on, and jumped in and swam around for most of the afternoon. I was pretty impressed really with the bit of reef that was in Watson's Bay itself and the marine life there too. It's quite an enjoyable way to waste an afternoon. As they say, time flies when you're having fun, and it didn't take long for the afternoon to wind up, so it wasn't too hard though to sit back and relax on the beach and watch another beautiful sunset as the